What is up, YouTube? My name is David Lee and you're watching Asian with Cars, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about my deck profile on Blackwing. So if you guys don't know, I've been a big Blackwing proponent for a very long time, not for the same reasons as everyone else. I've been playing Blackwing since about 2009, since the introduction of like Crimson Crisis with Blackwings. And I haven't stopped since. Like when I would take my breaks and I'd come back, I'd play Blackwings no matter what. When I came back into Yu-Gi-Oh, I didn't really have that much interest in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, so I looked into Edison format, and the first thing I had was of course Blackwings. And most everything in my deck is all hollowed out, and then I have my side deck and extra deck, which is decent, but it can get improved for rarity. So I've been playing competitive Blackwings for quite some time, and I've changed the deck due to some suggestions and just trying to keep it consistent as much as I can. And I think this deck is by far the most consistent it can be on paper in modern, not in modern, but in the main deck. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So I play one Gale and 3 Blizzards. The reason why I used to run 2 Blizzards and 1 Gale and then a Dark Eruption back in the day, and it works fine, but I think I want to see 3 Blizzards as much as possible, so that way I can get some more pressure on the opponent. Of course, we have the level 4s, 2 Boars and Shura, 3 of them. Now the only reason why I play 2 Bora over here is mainly because I do not like seeing Bora for the second time as a 3, but with 2 I only see 1 of each, which is great. Like I say 1 of each, but I only see 1 of them in the hand most of the time. I never see them together typically, unless I shuffle terribly. But yeah, I don't mind having more Shuras, but I do not like having multiple Boros in hand at the same time. So that's the main reason why I run 2 Boras. And then that's the one thing I changed from the deck, is taking out that 1 Bora and setting in 1 trap card changed the way I played, especially against some opponents that do not like this card. And we'll talk about that down the road. So the 3 Kalutes. Okay, so moving on, we have the Vayus and the Sirocco. Now the reason why I run 3 Vayus with the Sirocco is mainly because I run hybrid. I run Blackwing hybrid along with the 2 Dark Reffers, and the main reason why is because I've been running Blackwing hybrid for a very long time, along with 2 Royal Oppressions, which we'll talk about down the road. But I find that Blackwings with 3 Vayus along with the 2 Dark Reffers have been very consistent for me running the deck. I used to run 3 Dark Reffers along with Rhoda, and I just did not like it because you had to really rely on Vayu more often to actually get with Dark Reffer. And sometimes I would just set Vayu and then I draw into Greffer, and I'm just like. So at some point, I like to actually just run the 1 Dark Reffer, and then maybe I'll see the Sirocco. That's the priority typically, is that I'll see it down the road, and or I'll play it down the road, but I never want to turn 1, try and summon Greffer, pitch Vayu, or pitch Sirocco, whichever, because it leaves me wide open with Dark Reffer on the field, and if my opponent has Shura, then I'm screwed. So that's the main reason why I run it the way it is. I do run a standard Blackwing deck, and currently right now, I just like this more than anything. All right, we also have the Dark Arm Dragon. That's pretty typical for Blackwings. Now let's talk about spells. So we have the staples, Heavy Storm, MST, and Brain Control. And then we also have Allure, Black Whirlwind, and then we also have for traps, we have Icarus Attack, 2 Royal Oppressions, 2 Dimensional Prison, and then 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. And then for the staples, Trap Dust Shoot, Solemn, Mirror Force, and Deck Dev. And then we'll talk about Deck Dev in a moment. So the thing that I like about here is that the trap lineup is pretty cool. Sometimes I had to question myself on the 2 Royal Oppression. I may be reverting back from 2 Royal Oppression and actually work on maybe running one Nobleman of Extermination. But I find that 2 Royal Oppression has saved me more times than it hasn't. But there are many times that I've also had issues with having 2 Royal Oppressions in hand for some reason. So that being said, the 2 Royal Oppressions, I may take out 1 and we'll go from there. But right now I run 2 Royal Oppressions just because of the value. Now, Deck Dev. Why do I run 1 Deck Dev? Well, there are other cards that I needed to actually balance out, and sometimes, like I said, I was talking about the Bora, taking out that one Bora and then putting this in, and then taking out, I was running Starlight Road at one point. Taking out that one Bora helped out from going from 41 and then switching out from Starlight Road to this actually helped out with some of the decks like Fairies or Lightsworn or Quick Draw. Many of those types of decks have actually been a detrimental issue for me in Blackwings, and I found this was actually a good solution to the problem. Even Machina was another problem where I could actually save myself with deck dev, discard their whole hand because they have all gears with the Machina. Not the Machina Fortress specifically, but all the gears that they had in hand with the Machina Fortress plays. It actually helps me save myself because they'll usually ditch off the gear frame, one of the gears with a gear frame, or one of the gears and another monster to actually get out Fortress. Or they'll ditch off two gears to actually special summon Fortress. And for me to actually do that, it stops gears typically. So that's the main reason why I run the trap setup like as is. Another thing to mention, some things about Blackwings I'm not a fan of with some of the players. Blackwing players typically are very new to Edison. So people tend to gravitate to using Blackwings because they're affordable, which that's cool, but the problem is that people think that Blackwings is an easy deck to run. It is not an easy deck to run, especially when you have a lot of opponents that are ready to decimate a Blackwing deck, just because there's been so many Blackwing decks that are played that a lot of players are ready to play against Blackwings. So it's a very difficult deck to run. It's not an easy deck, and there's a lot of things that go wrong when you play the Blackwing deck because you're not looking for the proper or most efficient line. A lot of people that tend to misplay is like saying so they will not use Black Whirlwind and Blizzard together to actually get value. So people skip the step to actually activate Black Whirlwind to search value because they think that they need to keep the value in the deck. No, you should not do that, because if Sirocco's in the graveyard, you can ditch off value with Brio, or you can set value and then use Icarus attack. There's many things you can do. Don't doubt value in the just because it needs to stay in the deck or it's in your hand. It's a very useful card. You just got to figure a way to actually use it. But typically what I do with Black Whirlwind and Blizzard is that I'll special summon level 4 from the graveyard, search this, synchro off for Brio, ditch off to bounce, and that helps get value in the graveyard. Most people forget about that, or they just disregard it. So that's some of the main things over here. That's the way I typically run Blackwings. Especially if I can do that as much as I can, even though Black Whirlwind is usually a target to actually get destroyed first. But that's typically how I like to run Blackwings, is that the way that I do the way I've been running with the Dark Referers. Dark Referers with value is typically a push for game. That's just a plus for me. I don't use it for like main typical stuff. Something that I also like to do with Blackwings is that I will, if I have Gale in hand and I have Shura and I attack, and I still have Gale on the field and I'm able to do it, then I'll special summon value, synchro off for like Armor Master, synchro off from Armor Master with value, because it actually negates off the value, negates the value off. Then you can synchro off with value and Armor Master and then go for a level 8 like Stardust or Thought Ruler Archfiend or Dark-Hand Dragon. It's a very difficult play to do, but once you can do that, it's very rewarding. And that's one of the reasons why I actually run value in tandem. Or another thing that can actually happen is if I actually get value in the grave and I have a Sirocco and I synchro off, then I can actually get another level 8 play by getting Blizzard on the field. And then if this goes in defense, great. I might have another Icarus attack set face down just to actually like take care of back row issues. It's still an option to use. Don't doubt value in that aspect, because I think that running 3 values is not bad, especially if you have Dark Referer in the deck. So let's move on from there from the main deck, and let's talk about the extra deck. So I also like to talk about a little bit of history with some of the cards over here. So I've been running in the extra deck. I've been running Silverwind and these 4 other Blackwing monsters over here. So we have Blackwing Armor Master and Blackwing Armed Wing. So I've had these cards since practically the beginning. I think I pulled this one a long time ago. These 2 I definitely pulled. These 2 I definitely pulled. And one thing that's cool about these is that these are actually misprints. So this one is actually one of my favorite misprints over here next to this one. This is a shifted down misprint, and the biggest thing that and this is why I call it a misprint, is that this one's over inked. And then this one actually has red feathers compared to the black feathers that are over here. So in some areas over here, of course we have black feathers, but in some other areas, it's so over inked that the black stamping is no longer black, it's just red. So that's one of the things that I like about it. And I've been, like I said, I've been running these since the beginning, along with these. Some other additions that I've changed out, I used to run a Secret Stardust, and I went to a Ghost Stardust. And then I used to have a Ulti Black Rose in the deck, now I have a Ghost Black Rose in the deck. I honestly have never been interested in Ghost Rares until recently, and it's actually cool to actually look into actually running some of the Ghost Rares in the deck, just because nostalgia. So, moving on from there, we have Brio, Catastor, Dark End Dragon, the Psychics, Magical Android, and Thought Ruler Archfiend, Colossal Fighter, Goyo Guardian, and Chimera Tech, of course, for the machines. And I've also, just to mention, these have been around since the beginning. I believe I've had this like, I think I actually changed it out from my rare Turbo Pack Android. This has been around since the beginning. And then I think that's pretty much it. I think I was running like the original Shonen Jump one for a while, and then I lost track of where that went. But yeah, just a little bit of history to go with that. So a lot of the cards that are in the Blackwing deck, I've been running for quite some time, and if I can help myself, I would love to keep running them, no matter the rarity and how expensive they are. I'll just keep running them, just because they've been dented for quite some time. I want to say one of the Blackwing or Black War ones is like has a little minor crack over here, which I don't think that really affects it, because it's not really that marked based on like how bent it is. This one's not the one, but I think one of the other Black War ones is, which I can probably easily switch out. But a lot of the cards over here are in some shape or form dented from just how long I played. Yeah, generally I've just been running these decks for quite some time, and I did not mind running these cards down into like changing the rarity on them, just because I wanted to have full hollowed main deck. All right, let's talk about the extra deck. So I have 2 Cyber Dragons, 2 DD Crow, and then for the last set of monsters in the side deck is Snowman Eater. One thing that I like about Snowman Eater is that it really does a number on my opponent, especially on Frogs, Hero, and even Blackwings. Because if they summon Shura, then they have to deal with Snowman Eater, and they can't beat it over regardless, just because I'm going to be destroying Shura. So it gives me advantage on the field. DD Crow, typically for Frogs and Vayu, and then of course Cyber Dragon is for the machines. All right, so for the spells. Burial, that's the only spell I have here. Burial is so that way I can run the Blackwing deck even faster with Vayu. We also have Chain Disappearance. The reason why I'm running Chain Disappearance is because I found that Mask of Restrict is terrible in my deck. I find that Chain Disappearance is really good against Frogs. Chain Disappearance does a lot to them, just because if they special summon a Treeborn Frog, I'm yanking it off as soon as possible. And then we have the one extra deck dev. The reason why I run one more still, at least just one in the side deck, is because there's still one in here. And if I ever have to like try and get deck dev off as soon as possible, I'm going to throw that in. All right, so we have Lightning Prison Mirror, and then I also have Skill Drain. Now, here's the reason why. I actually run Lightning Prison Mirror and Skill Drain together with this deck at times, so that way I can actually slow down my opponent, especially if they run Fairies or Lightsworn. Those are the main problems that I have to deal with. I probably run Skill Drain against Teledad, Welldad, you name it. This deck, or these two cards right here have slowed down my opponent significantly to the point that I can actually do some things that they don't like doing. But another thing too is that, like saying so, they don't get the Monarch effects. They don't get to get the effects off with like with the Lightsworns. But I think that at times I want to see either one of these. I think I prefer this, but if I can see Skill Drain in some certain scenarios, I don't mind it at all either. So that's the reason why I don't run 3 of these, and I don't mind running 2 of these and 2 of these, just so that way I can have a little bit of variety. And then the last one that I have over here is a Starlight Road. Now, why do I have a Starlight Road in the side? The reason why is because in times, if I have to deal with Blackwing deck, I can side that in and I may see it. Another thing too is that there's a lot of people that tend to run and activate Heavy Storm regardless because they think that Starlight Road's not a thing because they've seen my deck and they never saw me run Starlight Road and I'll side it in. But that's another reason why I like running Starlight Road. I would run it in the main deck. I may contemplate on putting back this deck to 41 card deck, but I think that Starlight Road is a good side card in my opinion. And that's pretty much it from here. If you guys have any questions on the deck, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys like the video, please do like the video. And if you guys dislike the video, hit the dislike button twice. My name is David Lee, and I'm Asian with Cards, and we'll see you guys in the next video.